Hello, welcome to Oscar's Childhood Part 7. And here's Oscar. His traits: party animal, artistic, easily impressed. When we first met Oscar, he was a happy child in the middle of a very warm and loving family. His life was secure. He had no worries. It was just pure fun of being alive. The trouble started when his two older brothers aged up from teen to young adult. First it was Owen, and then not long after, Oliver aged up. Everything started to change after that point. They were still nice to Oscar, but things were different. They weren't the same as they used to be. It made Oscar feel unsettled. It started to get really awkward when Owen brought that mermaid Simone home, and Simone kept running around after Jean as their father. Poor Jean. He was at home being pursued by a mermaid. Whenever she spoke to him, he stopped and he spoke to her. After all, she lived in their house, and he was always polite. But then the trouble really started when their mother, Nola, Jean's wife, started to wonder why he spent so much time with Simone. And then things really erupted when Owen, who was interested in Simone, got very upset one day when Simone spent too long talking to their father and accused Jean of cheating on their mother with Simone. Now this shocked Jean because he wasn't aware of anything to do with cheating. He loved his wife. He was not interested in Simone at all. He was simply being polite. He spoke to her when she spoke to him, and that was it. Couldn't understand what had happened. Then Nola had been very upset, and she went off to the library where she met that dreadful woman, Fleur, and brought her home to move in with them. Oscar didn't like Fleur at all. There was something diabolically strange about Fleur. Unfortunately, Nola wasn't aware of the problem. She was too upset and distracted by her own problems, the issues she had with Jean and Simone. And added to that, of course, was the fact that Fleur was a schmoozer. She was an expert at talking and manipulating her way into any situation where she perceived there may be an advantage for her, regardless of the effect her actions may have on other people. Jean thought he'd made it up with Nola, explaining everything to her, and he thought that she understood. Jean had recently spent all of his money on adding 2 bedrooms and a bathroom to the house for their daughters, Olive and Olwen. And when he went to the courthouse to try to sue for slander, in order to hopefully clear his name, he didn't have enough money to pay the lawyers. So there was nothing he could do about it other than come back home and sleep on the couch. Fortunately, he didn't realise he was sleeping under a stuffed toad on the wall. Now, Jean was in the music industry, so he had late mornings and late nights, so he liked to sleep in. But his 2 sons had to start work early in the mornings because they were in the military career, and the other one was a paper boy. Now the paper boy woke up very early and decided to play computer games. This is what he preferred to do every morning, and saw no reason to change his habits just because his father was trying to sleep on the couch. Meanwhile, Oscar was sleeping upstairs. He had his bedroom all to himself now, even though he was still sleeping in bunk beds. Fortunately, Jean was about to get a raise at work. He had advanced in his career from fan to roadie, and so there was soon going to be enough money to buy him a nice new bed, especially when they had sold both of those bunk beds that are in the room at the moment. Outside, while Oscar sleeps, I wouldn't say it's a dreamless sleep, it's quite a disturbed sleep. It happens to be the night of the full moon, and there are zombies out in their yard. Now, Oscar knew about zombies, and he was usually frightened of them, but they had so much on his mind with what was going on within the family that he completely forgot about them and didn't even notice their snarls and growls that were on just outside his room. If he'd known about them, he would have been very frightened, because normally, when it's night of the zombies, his room is filled with his older brothers and sisters who were there to take care of him. But tonight he was in his room all on his own for the very first time ever, and the zombies were out. I think he was quite right to be worried about Fleur, because I know more about Fleur than he does, and she's not a nice sim at all. She's gone out in the middle of the night to pick up a magic gnome that had been kicked over by a zombie in the snow. And while she was out there, she thought she'd have a bit of a conversation with the zombies. She might learn something about some new ways of being evil. But all they did was snarl and growl. So she collected the mail before she went inside again after spending a little time communicating with the zombies. The zombies did what they usually did, they just ignored her. She wasn't very interesting to them at all, actually. I bet those Sims wake up in the morning with a terrible headache and wonder what they did all night once a zombification wears off them. That frightened her a little bit. That's amazing, she didn't retaliate. She's quite a powerful Sim. She's actually 100% alien in disguise as a human. Her traits are dislikes children, evil, schmoozer, ambitious, mean-spirited, and she wants to be the emperor of evil. And I'm wondering how long it's going to take for the family to work out what she really is, and if they'll work it out in time, and will they be able to get her to move out before she does any real damage to the household. At this point she's just being mean and nasty and making them upset, and things could get a lot worse for them. And even if she moves out, will she leave them alone? So she went downstairs, and they've got a new seahorse stuffed and on the wall now at the foot of the steps. And here comes Simone. I wonder what she wants. Fleur is not having much success with Jean, is she? She's trying to cause trouble between Jean and Nola. It looks like there's trouble between Simone and Owen as well. I suppose Simone isn't very happy that Owen accused her and his father of being up to no good together, and all they were doing was chatting. I think it's about time those two females got a job each as well, because they're not earning any income, they're just eating the food and taking up space. There's the seahorse. I thought you might like to see it up close. Another one of my favourites is the coral polyp. That looks nice up close as well. You get both of the coral polyp and the seahorse when you go diving. Then I got the bright idea of giving you a close-up picture of most of their mounted sea life, most of which they caught while scuba diving in the ocean. I think you'll recognise most of them easily enough. That's the Linkia starfish. They're hard to see on the seafloor. And the eel. And this one's an anemone. And a squid. And finally, an octopus. And here goes Owen off to work in the military career. It's still a bit dark out, but the sun is coming up. The zombies have all gone. And there's Oliver, ready to go to work as well. The car's out there waiting for him, but he's talking to his father, and he's forgotten about going to work. When he finally remembers, he runs out and catches a taxi. Leaves the car there, the carpool car there, waiting for him. Now we've got a threesome. There's only these three and the teens and Oscar left at home, and they'll be at home until the school bus arrives. Let's see if these three can work out their differences. Come to some sort of a truce. Actually, the two girls are there somewhere too. They'll be probably downstairs getting themselves ready for school. There's the school bus now. And Jean's outside talking to Oscar as he heads off to school. Oscar's doing quite well at school. He's up to grade B. He's just got a little bit more work on his childhood skills. And Nola will achieve her lifetime wish, because once he's got all of his skills and he gets to grade A at school, he'll be able to age up to teen. And then she will have raised 5 children from baby to teen, thereby achieving her lifetime wish. And I'd like her to achieve her lifetime wish. Jean's lifetime wish might take a bit longer to achieve. That's Olwen. She's always running a little bit late this morning, but she's not in her warm clothes. She's wearing a summer outfit in the snow for some reason. So off they go. We'll have a little peek at the neighbourhood under a blanket of snow. And the only ones at home now are Jean and Nola, Simone and Fleur. The bus goes over the bridge. That's the little area where the houses are. And their house is the house that's closest to us. Nobody lives in the other houses yet. Maybe the boys could move out there when they grow up, or when they get married. They've already grown up, they're young adults. But perhaps those empty houses would be a good place for the boys to move to with their families. Here we go. Nola's got an audience. Everything seems to be quite calm inside at the house at the moment. There's Fleur. She's not even causing any trouble at all at the moment. She's lulling them all into a false sense of security, because they don't know what she really is. Jean's worried about his lack of funds at the moment, so he's found a blue topaz in his inventory, so he's decided to cut it so he can sell it. There's an octopus stuffed on the wall. There's an ice sculpture there too. That's the one that Owen was working on earlier. It'll probably melt soon. We should sell it before it melts. They're worth a lot of money. Jean sold it for 677 simoleons. And now Owen can make that sculpture. He can continue building it and he'll get more money for each one. I found sculpting is a very lucrative occupation for Sims. So Jean's going to talk to Fleur. Wonder if that will get him into trouble. Maybe not. It might get Fleur kicked out though eventually. Who can tell what's going to happen next with this lot? They don't seem to get on very well, him and Fleur. So Jean's gone off somewhere and Fleur's decided to pick a fight with Nola. Not very smart, Fleur. Jean's trying to relax. It's a bit stressful there, so he's on the computer game. Now for some reason, both Nola and Jean have got babies on their mind. Maybe they're planning to have a sixth child. Because Oscar is about to grow up, and Nola probably would like another baby in the house. Neither of them have wishes for another child, but they do both often have baby bottles or baby girls in their thought bubbles when they're talking to other Sims. So I'm beginning to think that they'd like to balance their family out and end up with 3 girls to match their 3 boys, because at the moment they've only got 2 girls. You might actually notice the baby bottles and the baby, it's a little baby with the pink burrito baby with a little girl symbol beside it keeps coming up in their thought bubbles. So Owen's come home from work and he's having a pillow fight, and Oliver's going upstairs to do her homework. 2 girls are home from school. Owen's home from work in a military career. They're certainly losing a lot of feathers out of those pillows. They're having a lot of fun together. They'll have to go swimming shortly because Simone is going to need some salt water or she'll stop being a mermaid, and that won't be good. Well, they're talking about sharks, so there's a good chance that they'll end up swimming again shortly. Hopefully Simone is going to focus her attentions on him from now on and leave Jean alone. And Oscar's home from school. He's got his homework to do. And there's Oliver home from work as well. He's looking quite businesslike, but he is still a paper boy. He hasn't had a promotion yet. Owen's had a promotion. He's got up to level 2 in the military career. Yes, Owen's a mess hall server now. I think Oscar's now decided he really ought to put in a lot of effort for his homework and his schooling. So when he grows up, he'll be able to get a good job and move out of here. I think he's been talking to his big brother, Oliver, because Oliver is planning on moving to the city as soon as he can get some more promotions at work. He wants to be a star news anchor. Oscar doesn't know what he wants to do yet. Right now, he mostly just wants to get as far away as he can from Fleur. He's a B-grade student, so it won't be long before he'll be an A-grade student. You'll have to get him to work on his block skills. See, there's the baby in her thought bubble. She must be telling Simone that she's going to have another baby with Jean. And this one's going to be a baby girl. You can see she's got her mind on her children. So when all the homework's finished, they all go outside and start building snowmen, try to repair some of the damage that the zombies made in the previous night. Looks like these two are up to something. There's an argument going on there now. Oscar and Oliver. I think, yes, that's it. They're going to have a game of tag while their mother has an argument with Simone in the background. The sun's going down, the sky's pink, and it's not snowing, but it's still very cold. There's plenty of snow about. So we'll leave the video here with these two having fun playing in the snow with each other, playing tag. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye for now, and happy simming.